Welcome back to the Ingram Angle. New York's newest Congresswoman, Socialist Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, is already making waves on Capitol Hill. In addition to Medicare for all, free college, and her plan to abolish ICE, the 29-year-old now says she wants to radically tax the rich to pay for the left's environmental agenda known as the Green Deal.
Once you get to like the tippy tops, on your 10 millionth dollar, sometimes you see tax rates as high as 60 or 70%. That doesn't mean all $10 million are taxed at an extremely high rate, but it means that as you climb up this ladder, you should be contributing more.
Here now, Corey Lewandowski, former Trump 2016 campaign manager and co-author of the new book, Trump's Enemies, and Nomiki Konst. She is a candidate for New York City public advocate. Now, before I get your take, both of you, on this, here are some taxpayers' reactions today. Watch.
The 1% does need to be taxed more than they are, but at the same time, Trump's tax policy is helping the economy, and the economy is going well. So I can't really take a side on that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
70%?
70%? I think it should be more than it is.
So, it's at 39% now.
Right.
So, I mean,
so, well, top 1%, that's not me.
Yeah.
So, you know, fair is fair.
My guess is she didn't ask Nancy Pelosi or Bernie Sanders or the other 1%ers of her party what they think.
Now, Nomiki, is this a winning strategy to tax upper income earners in this way? Really?
Yes. Income inequality is worse than it's ever been in America. We're talking after Wall Street crashed in 1929, income inequality was not that bad. New York City, in particular, generates more wealth than anywhere on the planet, yet we have the worst income inequality. And a lot of that comes from the billionaires here who are not paying taxes.
Okay,
the corporate real estate class.
Doesn't this take away and sap the incentive to join that billionaire class, to strive for that, to be the next Oprah, to be the next Bloomberg? Doesn't that deprive you of that initiative? If you know you're going to be taxed, and in New York, by the way, place you want to run, if you took this 70%, tax rate that she's proposing and slapped your local taxes on it, you're talking about an 82.7% tax rate.
Oh, womp. For the 1% who have had tax breaks, hundreds of trillions of dollars of tax breaks, which have starved our housing, our schools, our infrastructure, our MTA. We're talking about a decrepit city that generates more wealth, and it's because these 0.1% are not paying taxes. We're not talking about you and me.
Taxes.
You're not.
They're
we're
paying
not even
taxes
talking about
and
you.
they're opening new businesses. They're opening new businesses, and the economy. The reason the economy is exploding is because of that money. Oh, come on.
Our taxpayer dollars are paying for helicopter
I've got to move on
pads.
now, Nomiki. Give everybody their time. Corey, Anderson Cooper challenged, to his credit, Cortez. Listen.
I think that it only has ever been radicals that have changed this country. Abraham Lincoln made the radical decision to sign the Emancipation Proclamation. Franklin Delano Roosevelt made the radical decision to embark on establishing programs like Social Security. That is radical.
Do you call yourself a radical?
Yeah, you know, if that's what radical means, call me a radical.
Corey, your reaction?
Oh, boy. Look, it's amazing. You know, she's been in office exactly about 24 hours, and she's comparing herself to FDR and JFK and Lincoln. Look, there's a long way to go, but what she is advocating for is a tax rate of 83% in California, 84, 85% in New York City, to her close personal friends like Michael Bloomberg, who's created tens of thousands of jobs, right? Because they're the ones who are going to be paying for this.
Donald Trump
Michael
is actually
Bloomberg is a
golfed with
1%er.
Michael Bloomberg. I think Michael Bloomberg was at Donald Trump's wedding. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez lives in my neighborhood in Queens. I don't know what you're talking about, Corey. You live in another universe.
She's the one who just said that the rich, the 1%, should pay 70% on top of the 8% sales tax, 8% tax.
Oh no, the rich have to pay taxes like us working people who are making $15 an hour.
So Michael Bloomberg should pay more. Look,
absolutely.
So Michael Bloomberg and so what stops those billionaires from paying more right now? There's nothing that prohibits them from paying more right now.
Oh,
they can do that if they want to. Why can't they if they want to? If they're so concerned,
they're making money off the backs of working people.
I want you both to react to this.
You mean like Jeff Bezos does?
Yes.
Okay, now,
yes.
Easy, guys.
Like Jeff Bezos does.
The new numbers today, the numbers of jobs added to this economy, 312,000 jobs added, 2.6 million jobs added in the entire year. You have wages going up 3.2%. These are some record and incredible numbers. Are you worried that if you move to this type of tax system, and by the way, Rosa DeLauro in Connecticut, she's proposing hiking taxes up to 5% from 0.9% to 4% for Obamacare. Is this what we need more of, and might this disturb the economic renaissance we're in the midst of? Corey, you first.
Look, it's very simple. Donald Trump has created more jobs in the manufacturing space in 2 years than Barack Obama did in 2 terms. And the bottom line is, if you raise taxes on people who are creating jobs, they're going to stop creating jobs. If you raise the interest rates, they'll stop investing money. They'll stop borrowing money. And that has a trickle-down effect. Donald Trump's tax policies of cutting taxes for everyone across the board has worked. And if you don't believe me, go look at the numbers of the unemployment rate for Hispanics and African Americans in our country. They're at record lows because of the job-creating opportunities that these tax cuts have put in place.
Now, no, Miki.
No, that's true.
The Hispanic numbers, the unemployment Hispanic numbers, look, I'm a Latino. The Hispanic numbers are at the bottom, historic lows of unemployment. You have more workplace participation among Hispanics than ever before. So what's wrong with that? Isn't that an economy working?
No, it's not an economy working.
Oh, it isn't?
Because right now,
how would it work?
So let me explain to you. Wages are lower than ever, and you don't have benefits. So yes, people are working 2 jobs, but they're still not able to make the rent. Rent is higher than it's ever been. And wages are lower. So when you don't have benefits, if you break your arm, this is absolutely true, Corey, it's called economy, and maybe you should read Jeffrey Sachs, because when you break your arm and you suddenly are bankrupt because you don't have health care, that is why when you pay for taxes and you pay into Medicare, it prevents you from going into bankruptcy. Okay. So it's not just that wages need to be higher. People are working more and the cost of living is higher, and then they're going bankrupt for basic necessities like
crime is down, unemployment is down. This is a wonderful thing.
And there are no benefits.
There are benefits. When people are working, they're not involved in crime. Go ahead, very quickly, Corey, because I got to get to one more topic.
In history.
Okay.
If this took place under the Obama economy, you'd be praising him as the greatest president since probably Lincoln. Oh wait, she already did that. That she's the greatest since Lincoln.
That's not true at all.
Okay.
And by the way, Bernie Sanders wants to add 2.2% to the payroll tax, amongst other things that he wants to add more taxes on, which I'm sure you're in favor of.
I want to quiet it for a moment so you can fight over something else. I want to get your thoughts on these new reports that Hillary Clinton is meeting with possible 2020 Democrats, because her own campaigns went so swimmingly. She reportedly met with Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, among others. Nomiki, why are Democrats coming to kiss this woman's ring? 36% approval rating in the recent polls. How is that a plus for them?
If you want to beat Donald Trump, you have to have a movement. You have to have a working people's movement. I think too many Democrats, the majority of status quo Democrats, are too worried about raising money. And what does Secretary Clinton have? She has a lot of donors, and she has a lot of access to infrastructure that they think will get them the win against Donald Trump. I'm supporting Bernie Sanders because he has a movement of millions of working activists across America who are ready to fight and have been fighting for things like Medicare for all, cancellation of student debt, and the Green New Deal.
Corey, she makes a great point there about Sanders really did awaken a grassroots movement. If I were one of these Democratic candidates, I'd probably be beating a path to Michelle Obama's house and becoming her best friend, given those book sales and the recent polls about them. Your reaction to all these Democrats kissing Hillary's ring?
Well, look, I'll give you credit. Bernie Sanders had the second largest crowds of any candidate in the last election cycle behind Donald Trump, so he clearly had a movement behind him.
No Russians.
But the system was rigged against him. Look, the only Russians that were involved were in the Clinton campaign when she took $5 million from her law firm and gave it to a British spy to go to the Russian and put together the dossier. That's your party that did that, not the Republican Party. So let's just be clear about that.
One more thing, hot off the live stream.
But the bottom line is this. Any candidate who's looking for Hillary Clinton's endorsement is going to lose. She ran a terrible campaign. She had a terrible operation in place. And she lost a campaign that every pundit thought she should have won.
Okay, I got to go to this. I'm going to run out of time, and I want to show my people this. Be quiet just for 1 second. Hot off the live stream, beer-drinking, down-to-earth, talk with real Americans, Senator Elizabeth Warren is spending the weekend with voters in Iowa, and there's a drinking theme here. She's in an Iowa saloon tonight. She said this just minutes ago.
I'm not a career politician. I never thought I'd run for public office. I never thought of this. What pulls me into the fight is that I got a chance as a kid. And that chance was because taxpayers invested in public schools.
Okay. Who's buying this? I'll start with you, Nomiki.
Well, you know the old adage, it's the politician you want to have a beer with. That's why supposedly George W. Bush won against Al Gore.
It looks like she just discovered where the beer was. What do you mean it's the one you'd like to have a beer with? Corey, your take.
I have a sippy cup of wine in the back.
Look, Elizabeth Warren, she's a terrible candidate. She's had a terrible launch so far. She launched at a time when no one's paying attention. She took the DNA test to prove that she is no more Native American than, I am, and I'm not a Native American. I'm proud of that fact that, I understand that, and she doesn't yet, regardless of what my cheekbones look like, right?
What?
My family never told me I was.
Okay.
They didn't lie to me.
What are you talking about?
Look, the bottom line is, that's what, if you know anything about Elizabeth Warren, she said she was Native American because she had high cheekbones.
I think you all
so
have
should
lovely cheekbones. Let me leave it there. Great conversation.